ecology and stress. I like to call it shark science, but we'll be more technical. So with shark, understanding the stress response a little bit more in 4 different species of sharks. And when I was doing that, I learned that I absolutely loved to share what I do with the public. So I like talking about all of the cool science. So I switched over to education, and now I'm kind of doing science communication. I hope that answers your homework question. I have so many questions. You guys are really excited about all of this. We call it a control van, not a control boat. Because we are already on a ship, I think it would be very confusing to call it a boat on top of a ship. And we are also in 2 large sort of metal shipping Connex containers. And they are movable. They can be moved on and off the ship. They are mobile. So we went with a more van-like name, I suppose.
Something's creating a big shadow.
What is that?
There he is.
Hello, fish.
It's another grenadier.
Another grenadier.
Oh, Amanda, I have got a comment for you.
A comment? Ooh, okay.
All right,
Is
just
that
read.
xenophyophores?
Xenophyophore. Yeah, Phytophora. Phytophora. There we go.
Phytophora.
No teeth.
Phyo. My apologies. Phyophoria are no longer called that, but are monothylemia
Okay.
in class of foraminiferans.
Say that word one more time.
Okay, coming wide.
Monothalamia?
Yes, that's it. Thank you
Ooh.
for figuring out my science pronunciation.
Neat. Okay, I'm looking up. I'll see if there are any recent papers
So
about
see
them
how
and their
you feel
reproduction.
about that. When we say slurping, we were talking about slurping things up before. We actually have sort of a vacuum tube attached to our front porch, and we can slurp up different samples with that tube. It's very fun to watch. Thank you for all of the people wishing to get for me to see a deep sea shark. I would send all your voodoo magic shark dances this way, because I promise I'll turn down my mic, but I might scream if we see a deep sea shark. They are so cool. Masters in Shark Science, yes. So it wasn't technically shark science, but that's what I call it because I got to play with sharks. Much more technical, but which kind of sharks did I work with? So I worked in the Gulf of Mexico in Mississippi. And so I worked with 4 different species of sharks. I worked with a bonnethead, a sharp nose, Atlantic sharp nose, a black tip, and a fine-toothed shark. So those are our 4 most common species. So I was able to sample them for my project. So those were the species that I
Is that the
with.
black tip reef shark?
No,
Okay.
it is just a
Ooh,
black
there's a sea
tip.
star that looks
Okay.
like it's feeding on something. It's the sort of posture that they take when they've
Mm-hmm.
everted their stomachs outside of their body. So
Ooh, what are we doing?
we're taking a look at that sea star.
Oh, look at him.
See how it's stilted up on its arms so that the
Yeah.
center part of the body
Yeah.
is raised?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll often cover up their prey and then evert their stomach out. One of their stomachs, they have 2. And then they'll digest the prey outside of the body and absorb the nutrients and bring them in.
I think I hear a slurping sound.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Great, thank you for that zoom.
Very
Very
cool.
It might be. Oh, there's sponges on that rock.
Yep.
Wonder if that's
Coming
what the
wide.
sea star is eating.
Oh, someone and their rabbit Carlson is watching the Nautilus live, and I think that's fantastic. Thank you guys for tuning in.
That's awesome. I have a pet bunny back home that I miss a lot.
Oh, so cute. What depths of the ocean do you find that fish? This rat-tail fish that we've been looking at?
Ooh, this is different.
We're pretty far down.
Corallamorphus.
Ooh, that is a, what? Is that an anemone?
That's a sea anemone called Corallamorphus. It's got these white tips at the end of its tentacles.
Full
And,
wide.
oh, that one's really deep in the sediment. I still think it's Corallamorphus.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one in the center now?
The one that's down to the left, the big one.
Oh, the
white
big
tips.
one.
Yeah.
is-
That
Okay,
is
stand
amazing.
by. Okay, zooming in. And iris down.
Wow. Wow, wow.
Oh, who's crawling underneath it?
I don't know. Let's see.
It's got frosted tips.
It's gonna bust the tip.
Frosted tips.
90
Hold
sea
on.
star.
Anemone.
See.
That was clever.
Oh, you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
his legs.
It's a polychaete under there.
Oh,
You can see
yeah.
the little bristles.
Oh, wow.
Those are called chaetae, hence polychaete. They have many chaetae. So it looks like there's a worm walking around underneath that Corallamorphus sea anemone. Better be careful.
He looks
Brushes up
pretty
against one of those
protected down
tentacles.
there.
It does.
Safe as long as it doesn't touch the walls.
Right.
Very interesting.
All right, thanks for
Okay.
the zoom.
Thank you.
All right, coming out.
Sounds like the floor is lava game for that guy. Dangerous. Oh. Someone asked if a dog shark would be okay. Absolutely. If we saw a dogfish shark, I would be very happy. If you can make that happen, we are waiting.
There is a shark called a dogfish.
There is a
Yes.
dogfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat shark and dogfish. They're both sharks.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're both sharks, and that would be wonderful. I am not picky. I love all of my sharks. Do the ROV's headlights ever bother deep sea life they encounter? I would probably say yes, but it's hard for us to have a comparison because if we turn off all of our lights, we can't see anything. So we do see some things that don't seem to react. We do see some things that kind of move away from the light, but we also make noise. So some creatures that might be bothered by us might sort of dart away from our screen and not be viewed by us at all because they hear the noise and see the light coming ahead of time.
Despite now knowing the new name of xenophyophores, the monothalamians, I'm still not finding any information about their reproduction. But I'm very happy to have learned the new name, so thank you for writing that in. Monothalamians. Oh, there's a sea star on that rock behind the black coral and some more of those
And
gastropod
some more,
eggs.
yeah.
Some more eggs.
But
Snail
where is
eggs.
the gastropod?
Exactly.
Bum, bum.
Ooh. And sponge?
Okay. Where's the sponge?
Or is that just rock up under the...
I have a feeling that that's a monothalamian.
Oh, getting
Now we're calling it a
closer.
monothalamian.
Yeah.
Because
We had to just change that.
We
I
just
feel like everyone
changed
in the
it.
control van just got a hold of the old name,
Oh, wow.
which I will not say.
We are always learning.
Yes.
Always learning.
Oh, can you zoom again on that black coral on the left-hand side? It looks like it has sweeper tentacles midway up the feather of it. Do you see the brown waving?
Yeah.
Stand by.
or it could be dirt.
That's possible. It could
Yeah.
be dirt.
Let's get.
Mucus. It could be mucus.
Let's see.
They're long.
Okay, zooming in. Well, hold standby.
Oh.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's out of frame now.
No, it's
No,
right
it's
in
still
the middle.
there.
You're good.
Is
We're
it?
looking
Right in
just
the
at
middle.
that
Yep.
movement. Yeah,
Let me
that frilly stuff.
It's dirt.
I think it's
Oh.
No,
mucus.
it's not. What is
Mucus.
that?
I think
Oh.
it's mucus from another organism.
Yeah.
I see.
Not sweeper
Or itself.
tentacles.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think they're super tentacles.
Well, that's good. That's not. Yeah. Oh, but there are sweeper tentacles on the base. I can see it in
That's
the lower right.
great.
Look
Mhm.
at that. Oh, no, I see. Yeah, never mind.
All right, thank you for
Thank
the
you.
zoom.
Okay. Yeah, thank Dan for getting us back on in front of it.
Yes, thank you. That was excellent. It was super smooth too, Dan.
I thought we had already passed it up. I was like, oh, we're not gonna be able to get that. But
So at some point this evening, we're going to give Antonella another crack at a sediment core. She will be thrilled about that.
Yes.
We only have
You're gonna do
35
great.
minutes left. 30 minutes.
Well, should we do that?
yeah,
Um,
see if we can position us in, well, wherever you think the
Oh, she's
sample needs to be taken.
she's got it. She's a
Yeah.
pro now.
We'll be doing this for 30 hours. If you want it now, we can do it now. We'll have to ask about the ship.
Sure. So is this, I mean, is the ship
No.
and ROV in a good position to do that?
We're discussing now.
Yeah, I would have to stop the ship.
And so is that a yes or a no?
That's anytime you want.
And you want to keep going, Erica?
can we proceed right now and we'll talk about it, the three of us?
Yep.
Thanks.
Well, if we've got a second, we have a college student that's looking into studying ocean science. What sort of advice would you recommend or give?
Okay, so I'm Taylor Ann. I am currently the ocean sciences intern. So there are many different ways that you could probably get to this type of a career. I actually started off just studying general biology in undergrad. I really wanted to study marine science, but I wasn't in the area to be able to do that. So I just focused on general biology and did some research in an algal ecology lab at Ball State University, and got involved in a lot of other labs and aquatic projects. And towards my end of my career there at Ball State, I actually got a scholarship to attend Duke University Marine Lab to study there. But some other things that helped me get to that part of my life were volunteering at the Shedd Aquarium in Chicago. That was the only marine life that I could actually be around. So just staying dedicated to what you want to do and finding ways to do it, even if it's not one clear pathway, you can make your way there. It took me about 4 years, but after attending Duke Marine Lab, I did my own research with a professor, Dr. Zachary Johnson, focusing on the implications of ocean acidification on oyster aquaculture. And that was kind of my little bridge to marine life from the Midwest. And then I found myself accepting a position at Cal State Northridge as a master's student, getting my master's degree in marine biology. I'm in my first year there, and I just started, and then I came here to be an ocean sciences intern. So you can start pretty much from anywhere.
That's a fantastic answer. I think I'm just gonna let Taylor Ann give all the advice from now on. She's got it.
Yeah, don't give up on your dreams. If
Never.
you want to study marine biology, you study
Never.
marine biology. You make it happen,
Yes.
even if you don't live anywhere near the ocean. You can
Yes,
do that.
absolutely. I
One
love that determination.
advice I would have for anybody looking to sort of break into the field is find professors that are doing something you want to do, and
Right.
just hound them. Just email them constantly. Don't take no for an answer. You'll eventually get in.
They will. They give up, and you get an awesome job.
So,
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for advice from people that you look up to. most of the time, they're more than happy to help you.
Antonella.
Yes.
Yeah. There's something dark on the right-hand edge of the frame, just about to go off screen, that's drifting about the same speed as us. Can you spin the starboard just a bit?
Holding.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't
What
know.
is
It's
it?
dark and it's
Where's-
drifting the same speed as us.
Mysterious creature
I'm going to push in a little and see if I can figure out what that is.
coming to
That
the
grenadier
light.
in front of us?
It is drifting pretty quick.
Can you tilt the camera up a little bit?
There's some training going on here, Wayne.
It's
so-
okay. It's okay. Ooh.
Oh, hello, fish.
It's gone. It's okay.
I have a question from Corpus
There.
Christi, and I have a question back for
Full
them.
wide.
This
Full
is-
wide.
Little sharks in the surf we called shovel-nose sharks. You could catch by hand on Padre Island.
Hmm.
I don't know what those are, but that sounds amazing. I have a friend at Corpus right now, or in Corpus Christi. I will see if she knows what kind of sharks those are, because she's a super expert fish scientist. We have a tarantula viewer as well. Hello, tarantula viewer. 5-year-old Seth would like to say hi, and I can find a cookie cutter shark, please. Oh, Seth, I would love to find a cookie cutter shark.
Ooh, that reminds me.
Do you have still have cookies in your pocket? There you go. Of all the 4 sharks I studied, were any able to survive in captivity? The research that I did not keep any of those species in captivity. We didn't want to have to keep them in tanks and worry about stressing them out and taking care of them. We'd rather keep them in their natural environment. So we kept them out in the Mississippi Sound, or we didn't keep them, we just would catch them periodically and put them back. They are known to live in captivity, though. We are able to keep at least 3 out of the 4 of those species. So Atlantic sharpnose, bonnet heads, and black tips in captivity. I'm not sure about the fine-tooth shark. I will have to ask another friend of mine who is an expert on fine-tooth and let you know. What is the best time for deep sea exploration? Late night, early morning, lunchtime, and why? What do you guys think? I don't know if there's too much of a difference coming from the deep sea view of
The correct
things.
answer to that is yes.
Right.
The best time is all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
They don't have this
Anytime.
sort of anytime forever. We're just going to stay out here.
Yeah. No, the reason is the sunlight doesn't get this far down. Although there are many sea creatures that you would think would not be affected by moon phase and things like this, but a lot of the behaviors can be synchronized with the tidal movement and the moon phase, and it's like so. But at these depths, there's no sunlight. There's no difference between noon and midnight.
So it doesn't really matter, and we are always excited to go deep sea exploring. So anytime is great for us. We have a chuckle out of Patrick when Amanda will no longer say the old name. So he's enjoying that. How long have the ROVs been down for this dive? We went down at about 1300 this afternoon, which is about 1 o'clock, not about 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock in military time. And it is now
1934.
1934. So we have been down for a little while, and you know what? I'm going to make you do the math. It's 1934, and we started at 1300. And we'll be down for about 30 hours total, I believe, is our plan. We're trying to work with the weather coming in, so we don't know yet, but it's going to go well. Oh, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. We have a red clock up in our control van. What is the red clock counting down to? What's that for?
It's counting up. That is time, for lack of a better term. Everything we do is based on UTC time or GPS time. So all of our days, all of our sample logging, all of our data is referenced to UTC time and date. So that red clock is our master time. So whenever we write dates for this cruise, for samples or anything, it is now 2 a.m., 2:35 a.m. UTC. So it is tomorrow's date. Yeah, master clock.
And what is the reference for UTC?
It is similar to GMT, so it's Greenwich Mean Time, but it does not observe daylight savings.
Okay.
Oh. Well, good question, guys. That was a good question. I didn't even know what that was for. So we all learning. You want to apply for one of our positions. We have so many cool internships and positions if you're an undergrad, if you're a graduate student, if you're a teacher. So absolutely come check out some of our possibilities to be with us here out on the Nautilus.
A little biased towards the seafloor mapping internship.
What's up?
I said I'm a bit biased towards the seafloor mapping internship.
I mean, that is a great one. Tell us more about that one. Is that where you started?
That is not where I started, but that is who I help train up. It is an internship to come out and help acquire and process shipboard multi-beam data and sub-bottom data.
And those are instruments that are carried on the ship that send out signals that are reflected back and used to determine the shape of the seafloor, basically, right?
Yep. Multi-beam is it's called a swath sonar. So there are 432 individual sort of tagged acoustic beams that go out on each side of the ship. And we do water profiling cast with a underway CTD or an expendable bathythermograph to get the sound velocity through the water column, which is very important whenever you're sending a ping of sound 3 kilometers out from the ship and 5 kilometers deep. And you need to know how it travels through that water, both towards the seafloor and then back from the seafloor to accurately produce our bathymetric maps. The sub-bottom profiler is a single beam echo sounder that sends out just one large chirp modulated acoustic signal, and it is low enough of a frequency that it penetrates into the seafloor and can give you subsurface stratigraphy structure. So we use those two in tandem almost every time we map.
So that would be, the latter one would be something, say, that would tell you if it was rock or soft bottom.
Yes. We can also get that information from the backscatter intensity from the multi-beam data.
Mm-hmm.
Both will sort of tell you that there are hard substrates, not necessarily rock, but at least hard reflectivity, hard substrates at or near the surface.
Right, okay.
Very cool. I think you guys are inspiring all kinds of people to come look at our internships. We got somebody else that is landlocked that wants to come be a part. We got a hello from Chicago. Thank you, Lindsay, for your comment.
Okay.
Emily Ballard says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily. We hope you're doing good. We'll see you soon. Let's see. Oh, the shark from Corpus Christi that's nose was shaped just like a shovel might be a flat shark, a shovel-nosed guitarfish, or maybe something in sort of the bonnethead family if they were small. I'll have to investigate. I'll come hang out in Corpus and see if I can find some sharks to catch, because that sounds great. Guys, we're getting lots of thank yous on our advice. Everyone really appreciates it.
Anytime, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We are here to answer your questions. Oh, you guys have such good questions right now. I love it. I feel like you guys are all waking up. Do deep sea creatures have circadian rhythms?
Ooh.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'm going to deflect to what I do know because I don't know that exact answer. But deep sea animals do have rhythms, and we have observed sort of patterns of activity that fluctuate with the season and with different weeks and months. So as food rains down from the surface and as there's more food, then animals will get more active and migrate more. And so that's on a sort of days to weeks schedule. Daily circadian rhythms. Do you guys know for fish or anything?
Well,
I don't know for fish. I know they...
I don't know.
The
I
they're
don't know about the
Ectophids
deep sea
have that.
ones.
yeah, there's migrations up and down with the day.
Oh, right.
Every
Day and
day,
night,
sure.
okay.
Right, we talked about that
True.
yesterday.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So that's called diel vertical migration.
Right.
And so this is this whole community of plankton and fish that migrate up into shallower waters during the nighttime, presumably to feed. And then when the sun comes up, they swim back down deeper into deeper waters where they are presumably safer from predators. So yeah, in that way, there's definitely a circadian or daily cycle found in deep sea critters in the plankton.
Very good. That was a great question.
So, Erica, do we know if fish sleep at night or do they sleep whenever?
I think they might slow down their metabolism at night, but
Mhm.
I don't know the exact answer. I should know
Okay.
that answer.
I think it depends on the species. So some fish certainly do. They might hide themselves, whereas, you know, our sharks, which are also fish, they kind of ramp up at night and start hunting. So it depends on your species. But they do need to rest at some point, usually. So sharks will either shut off part of their brain, or fish will kind of try to
Their lobate ctenophore
do a sleep
lobate
cycle or a
ctenophore.
rest somewhere.
drifting
so
down toward the bottom of the screen.
I see
yeah.
its shadow.
It's there too.
Okay.
Oh.
So it looks like we've got a little bit of slumping structure on this ridge here.
It's a pretty steep slope here in front of us. We
So I've got a few more career questions. Someone was asking if there was a 0% chance of getting an internship if they dropped out of college. I don't think so. I think you can still find an internship. I think you'll just volunteer and start to work your way up and learn all kinds of things, and you never know what can happen.
The only time that you have a 0% chance of getting something is if you don't go for it.
right.
So it never hurts to ask or to try and apply. The worst they can say is no, and you move on.
Yep.
But there are things that I applied to that I never thought I'd get. Lots of them I didn't get, but a couple of them I did. So it's really, I would say, don't let that hang over you. Just keep on pushing on and seeing what you can do next.
I agree. I'd say that I've also been turned down for a lot of experiences, but I think those helped steer me in the right direction. So it's all about the way you look at things. And if you can't get that internship, think about other things like professional developments or volunteering, but keep trying. I know I've heard of some communication fellows in the past that have applied once and didn't get it the first time around, but were persistent enough to try again and actually did get a fellowship. So you never know what could happen. Hard work pays off, so don't give up, and do everything that you can to keep that passion. I think that's something that's unique, that a lot of people like to see in fields like this, because you need passion to do something that's like hard work, to stick with it and to do a good job. So that's one thing I think that I'm really thankful for, is that I'm really passionate about what I'm pursuing, and it changes my perspective entirely and how I carry out my work ethic.
And that's also really apparent in the people who are hiring too. Yeah, passion is a really important attribute.
Yes. We have another question about needing a PhD, and we talked about this a little bit before. You don't necessarily need a PhD in this field. It kind of depends on what you want. You're asking if that's true, you wouldn't begin your career until almost 30. How old is too old to begin one? Well, I would say never. You are always young enough to learn more things and begin a new career. You don't always need a PhD for what you want to do in marine biology, but some directions it is recommended. So it would depend on what sort of field you would want to get into.
Yeah, if you want to decide what you're going to do research on or get grants to study certain things, or be a professor, then you're going to need a PhD. But there's lots of things you can do in marine sciences that absolutely do not require a PhD. You can work in a lab, you can work in the field, you can be doing field work. I mean, there are places where you can find jobs that you kind of split your time between work in the lab and work in the field. So just lots of different things are possible.
Yeah, there's some great opportunities and all sorts of different pathways that you can take.
Yeah, there's consulting. So you can work in the private field where you work for a company that has clients that needs things to be studied. They need answers to things because they want to, say, they want to rebuild a dock, or they want to know what effect their business or operations will have on a certain environment. And what was it? Sure. So yeah, that's yeah, lots of different ways to go.
You probably want to go to your tether like straight out 060.
Yeah, we're gonna go for a core now, guys. Hey, Dan, we're going to go for a core now. Okay.
All right, well, they get set up. Do we have a pressure monitor on either ROV? If not, what is the approximate pressure at this depth? How do we kind of know the pressure of what's going on? Oh, they're very
Well-
busy setting up.
Well, the depth sensors are all based on pressure, but they're calibrated to give you depth. But I think I heard somebody say last night that for every, what is it, 30 feet, you go up 1 atmosphere, something like that.
Yes, I think that's correct. So we're going to give you a little bit of a math problem, and you'll have to figure out what the pressure is.
But, you know, you have to know what you're starting with. So what is the pressure at sea level?
It should be 1 ATM.
Mm-hmm. Well, 1 atmosphere, right. But if you're, you know, how do you want to measure pressure? Is it atmospheres? Is it pounds per square inch? I don't know what 1 atmosphere, how that translates into pounds per square inch.
I do not remember how
Yeah.
it translates. I know it does, but I do not remember what the number is. Do we carry all the cable Herc can use, or do we change out the cables? I'm pretty sure we carry all the cable for Herc. That way we're ready to do whatever mission needs to be done. So we've got lots and lots and lots of cable.
So we have about 4,300 meters of cable on the spool.
4,300 meters of cable.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, any time, regardless of depth, our signal is traveling down 4,300 meters.
Right.
And we additionally have multiple umbilical tethers that attach from Argus to Hercules.
Also, I realized I wasn't on SPL. 1 atmosphere is about 15 psi.
Okay.
There we go. Nope, there is always going to be math, you guys. Always going to be math. We've got a few more career questions. You guys ready for them?
Fire away.
All right, so have you found that transitioning from a primarily marine science education-focused career to a more research-focused career is difficult? We have someone who has a background in research and biology, but so far has worked in sort of the education field.
And they want to switch over to marine?
It sounds like they want to switch over back. Sounds like you already got a background in biology, so
Yeah.
switching to marine science or research doesn't sound difficult to me.
No, I don't think that's a problem at all. I mean, I
No.
got a general biology degree for my major, bachelor's degree, and a general chemistry degree, and I think that it served me well to know and understand terrestrial systems and chemistry, and so having that breadth of knowledge is actually, I think, really, really helpful at seeing connections between things instead of just knowing about your one system. Also, if you studied and researched before, then you know how to learn and teach yourself, so you'll be able to gain that knowledge that you need to specialize in a new field.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And we're all about just go for it, see what happens. But if that's what you want to do, I think you can make it happen. What can I do in the field at age 60, close to retirement age? What would you guys suggest?
Volunteer.
Yep, that's what I
You
would
know,
say.
Go find an aquarium or, you know, even
Apply
a
for the
research
internship
facility.
Apply for the internship program?
Yes.
Maybe so. That's right.
Oh, look at this math happening in the chat. Oh, you guys are great. You're figuring all of our, at 3,198 meters, we are going to have 318.253 atmospheres, 4,677.04 psi,
Wow.
and 322.470 bar barometric pressure.
Okay.
If we trust that person's math.
That's called the big squeeze.
Those sound like some pretty big numbers with a lot of decimal places, so I'm going to say
You're
it's
gonna
pretty
go
close.
with it?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I don't really want to
Yeah.
do the math right now. I've been up for a long time, so I'm gonna trust you on that one.
Yeah. Seems legit.
We'll have Miles figure it out. He'll work on that down there. So we have a big fan who is talking about the movement that Dr. Ballard encourages
Howdy.
women
Okay.
in STEM. And so that we have a large population of women on the EV Nautilus team. And it's incredibly important to him, and that's actually something that does happen. So we try to make the diversity of our team represent the diversity of what's going around in the world, and we want every child to be able to see their face and feel comfortable with our Nautilus team. And so we try to get a little bit of everyone involved. And so that's incredibly important for our team and for Dr. Ballard, and it's actually happening, which is a great thing. There's a question about the rate of respiration metabolism for the creatures that we have found so far. That is going to vary quite a bit based off the different creatures and different things. I don't know any specific numbers. Sounds like our science team may be having a conference, but that would be something you would definitely have to Google in sort of our peer-reviewed scientific literature.
Can you take a look at that spiral-looking coral while you guys are sitting
Ooh,
down?
where'd
and
that
moving?
go?
It's just
That
to
was
the right
cool
of the
looking. Is that a coral?
We haven't seen a coral like this here before. We haven't seen a coral like this here yet. There are some that have this spiral form. I'm not instantly familiar. Aha, Iridogorgia with, yeah, doesn't have, that's possible too. So could be a Lepidopsis that has kind of a spiral twist to it, or it could be some variant of Iridogorgia, but Iridogorgia also has kind of long processes sticking off of it from that central branch.
So hello everyone. It looks like we're changing shifts a little bit, and while we do that, I just want to say thank you for everyone at nautiluslive.org who is watching. We really appreciate you guys joining us and sending in all of your questions. There are so many, it just keeps going, so we'll try to get to them. We are currently exploring Davidson's seamount, sort of the apron around it, to try to investigate what is here. This is an area that has never before been explored, so you're seeing it for the first time, just as we are. So we're out exploring like Lewis and Clark and trying to figure out what we've got down here in our ocean. Thank you so much for all of the viewers who have had wonderful compliments this whole time. You guys have been so sweet. We are so happy to connect with you and teach you everything we can. And your questions are wonderful, so keep asking them, keep being curious, and if you have any career questions, keep asking. We have all kinds of different scientists, engineers, people, communicators, educators, artists in this room, and so we're here to help you. We're all one big exploring team. So I am going to head to bed, but thank you guys so much. and enjoy the rest of your exploration.
Hello, Megan. Okay, cool.
Hello, Erin. Hey everyone, we're just getting the team swapped over here, so give us a few minutes and we'll get back to questions and you'll hear a brand new set of voices. This is a great chance to refresh your browser if you haven't in a little while, to make sure that you have the updated team members down there below the question feed. If you are watching us on YouTube, welcome. Know that if you visit us at nautiluslive.org, there are all kinds of other content, including dive depth, water temperature, team members on watch, and the ability to send in questions to the team.
All right,
we have
science, probably Dane specifically. No, is it okay if we slide sideways and do our push core? Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
you're going to move Herc, not the ship. Got it.
Find somewhere that looks push-coreable.
Yeah, that looks pretty hard.
Yeah.
Let me get back to where we are here.
I was told it's been boring enough that we should zoom on anything and everything.
I'm all about that. Let's do it.
All the zooms.
Winds are up to 25 knots.
Whoa,
Current is up to
that's
1
not
knot.
supposed to be what's happening.
No. I think it might be the sunset situation that we see in this area every night. But the current starts to get stronger and the winds pick up. It's winds are a knot almost opposing, so I'll just keep monitoring that.
Opposing is good.
Opposing is good for
to some extent.
Yeah. Let me go over here, do some of this business. USBL has been
wonderful.
Use less. Use less.
Use less instead of use more.
Right.
Yeah, got it.
Let me bring in.
This does all seem like we won't get a very deep push core, but we'll give it a go.
Okay.
We got 5.
Yeah.
Aaron, jellyfish.
Ooh, yeah. Look at that jelly.
Looks very Halloween spooky. A little amphipod.
All right, that's all we're gonna get full wide. Ooh.
So Chad, I've dug up a backscatter map.
Yes.
It's on HYPAC plan, HYP plan, that screen. It's looking pretty much as expected. And then that cone is really interesting as far as backscatter goes.
Yeah, yeah.
But everything up until there, it looks like, yeah, we've got some slope. One of the regions I looked at that looked decent was up here. So we are currently at waypoint 3, or approaching waypoint 3. And some of this upslope between 5 and 6 looks like maybe we should try to go up that slope.
What's the name of the tab that I can bring up?
HYP plan. HYPAC plan.
Where's that?
PC4?
No, it's not the survey.
If you look at the red buttons, I think they have red buttons.
We're good.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, so we're here between 2 and 3, somewhere approaching 3. That's where the ship is now.
Yeah.
It's looking like there could be some. The white is the more intense return in this map, so it's looking like possibly there's something up here. And if we look at the bathy, let me turn those contours on and bring them up. Nope, wrong one. Where's that? This one. So yeah, it's looking like between 5 and 6 upslope, there might be something up there. But
yeah,
really the most interesting stuff is way up at that. This is looking pretty hard substrate on that cone. As you would expect, just from the feature itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we had a big cone to the south of the octopus garden, much bigger than that one.
Yeah.
And
Dane, do you want to just go for a push core, or do you want me to kind of see how
there wasn't much there. Not
first?
suggesting there's not going to be much here at all.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Just
do you want me to just go for a push core, or see how soft it is first?
It's also really far away.
Yeah. So we'll just go for one.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, so after this core here, what we're definitely going to try and do is just go as fast as we can while looking at stuff. We're only going to stop for collections if there's a big aggregation of something and we can collect multiple things at once. Otherwise, we're not going to stop the ship. And we'll cut across corners when possible.
Yeah, see if you can bring your...
And at the end there, depending on the time where we are, probably not go into that northwest corner and cut across. So there's going to be some transiting. But like you said, Rennie, we can transit at maybe a half a knot, but still kind of see the bottom anyway.
I think so. And we actually have a long, we have got this stretch right here. Sorry, let me zoom in. I'm back on HYPAC survey. Let me just confuse you even.
That's all right.
Yeah, so this stretch here, we can go across this way. And then this stretch up here, that'll be a nice...
Hold on a second, Rennie.
Yeah, I'll go back, yeah. HYPAC survey.
Jamie, is there anything floating in the box?
This stretch here will be a nice we can probably
no,
go
we've only done
track a
Niskin
line
so
and not
far.
have too many
Copy.
crazy moves.
Yeah.
And then this stretch up this
Oh, that's
way, we
wrong
can do the
button.
same.
There we go.
Just kind of
That's
like
better.
minimizing the amount of moves.
Exactly.
So we can just track a line at a
Hooray,
steady pace. It'll be a lot
thrusters.
easier. And then if we choose to go in here, we can.
What is that?
That
Perfect.
is thruster
Aha.
vortex.
Okay.
Picking up sediment.
Yep, sample tray. Keep going out. Keep going out. Yeah, that's good. Oh, let's see if I can do this. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Ooh.
I got an eye on DP in this kooky weather we got. So I'll let you know if we've got plenty of time to react though, if anything was to happen, just given the depth. But
All right, all kinds of planning happening here at the watch handover. First thing we're gonna do is get this push core. So if you've never seen us do a push core before, check it out. We're gonna put the cylinder down into the sediment.
And what angle do you want?
Well, normal to the substrate.
Okay.
Sort of like a cookie cutter punch. It's gonna go down into the sediment and then pull back with a little tension.
That looks pretty
little
normal,
back
the
pressure.
substrate.
Yep, that looks good.
That is, I think, as deep as we get. Maybe. Oh, we're getting some.
We're getting a
I
little
believe in
further.
you. That's a good sign. Maybe there's a mud plug underneath and we'll get a good core.
Yeah, hang on. We've
You trying to pull out?
Yeah, it looks like there's a definite different layer there.
Yep.
Illustration.
Yep.
And if you're watching on the quad view, you can watch the arm. It's going to sort of swing it around the right shoulder. Think about like taking your right arm and reaching behind your back and put it back in the holster. Rennie, can you talk to us a little bit about where we are on this slope, where we are in the terrain?
Yeah, just give me one moment. 30. 205. Well, we're kind of on this loby. Davidson Seamount is to the northwest. And we're on this kind of loby plane. And where that plane transitions to the next lower plane, there's these steeper slopes that we're interrogating here with the hopes that maybe there's some kind of substrate that's conducive for coral growth or even some of the venting that we saw in the octopus garden. So we're just kind of moving up at from the south west of this of these contours and just kind of trying to follow along them to see, going a little bit up the slope, going a little bit down, but generally trying to stay where there's a steeper slope to see if we can identify any harder substrate. As you can see, the softer softer sediment areas seem, they're not as biologically active as far as the larger fauna goes.
How's that?
all right. We're good to close.
Okay. Nice job.
Now, if that's 020.
020.
Thank you.
030 now. 020. Push core.
Before we lift off, can we get a quick zoom on just the sediment surface here? No particular place.
Aaron, zoom. Yeah, keep up with Aaron.
All
We'll
right,
use it to
all
stow.
set.